Ali is not famous, he is not rich, he is not someone the world talks about. He is just an ordinary man living in the United Kingdom, trying to build a life that feels stable, safe, and meaningful. Every morning at 6:30 a.m. his alarm rings inside his small rented apartment in Birmingham. The sound is not loud, but it is consistent, just like his life. Outside the window the sky is usually gray. Other mornings, a cold wind moves through the quiet streets. For a few seconds he stares at the ceiling. No dramatic thoughts, no big speeches in his head, just the simple realization that another day has begun. He sits up, rubs his eyes, and checks the time again. 32 a.m. His apartment is small. One bedroom, a modest living area, a tiny kitchen, and a bathroom. The furniture is simple, nothing luxurious, nothing impressive. He makes his bed carefully. Living alone teaches discipline. If he does not keep things in order, no one else will. In the kitchen, he boils water for tea. The familiar sound of the kettle fills the silence. He fries 2 eggs and puts bread in the toaster. This is his daily breakfast. Simple, affordable, predictable. While eating, he opens his banking app on his phone. Rent is due next week. Electricity bill arrived yesterday. Gas prices have increased again. Transport costs are rising. He calculates quickly in his mind. After rent and bills, the remaining money must last the entire month. Groceries, transport, small savings. At 7:30 a.m. he puts on his uniform. Navy blue shirt, black trousers, comfortable but slightly worn shoes. He looks at himself in the mirror. He doesn't see a success either. He leaves the apartment and locks the door behind him. The hallway is quiet. Outside, the air is cold. People stand at the bus stop, each in their own world. Some sip coffee, some look tired already. The bus arrives. He taps his card and finds a seat near the window. As the bus moves through Birmingham, the city slowly wakes up. Students walk in groups, laughing loudly. Office workers stare seriously at their screens even before reaching work. Ali watches all of it silently. Sometimes he wonders how many of these people feel exactly like him. Working, surviving, hoping for something slightly better in the future. He puts on his earphones and listens to soft music. Not loud, just enough to fill the space between his thoughts. At 8 a.m., his shift begins at the local supermarket. The air smells faintly of fresh bread and cleaning products. His first task is stocking shelves. He carries boxes from the storage room and arranges items neatly. Milk in straight lines, cereal boxes facing forward, canned food stacked evenly. There is something calming about order. When shelves look perfect, he feels a small sense of achievement. Customers begin entering steadily. "Excuse me, where can I find pasta? Is this on discount? Can you check the price for me?" He answers politely every time. Retail work is repetitive. It requires patience. It requires emotional control. Some customers smile warmly. Others speak without even making eye contact. A few are rude without reason. But Ali has learned something important. Not everything deserves a reaction. By noon, the store becomes crowded. Trolleys roll loudly across the floor. Children cry for chocolate. Announcements echo over the speakers. Standing for hours is not easy, but he continues. This job may not be his dream career, but it is honest work. It pays his rent. It keeps him independent. And in a foreign country, independence is powerful. At 1 p.m., he finally gets his 30-minute lunch break. He sits in the small staff room. A microwave hums in the corner. A vending machine flashes bright lights. A small round table holds lunchboxes and coffee cups. He opens his container, rice and chicken from last night. His coworkers discuss football results and rising living costs. One complains about taxes, another talks about weekend plans. Ali listens more than he speaks. He checks his phone. A message from his mother appears. "How are you, Beta? Are you eating properly?" He smiles softly and replies, "Yes, everything is good. Don't worry." He doesn't mention the stress. He doesn't mention the tiredness. Parents worry enough already. After lunch, the afternoon shift begins. Now he works at the cashier. The scanning sound repeats again and again. Some customers are kind. One elderly woman thanks him warmly. A young child waves at him. Small moments like these make the day lighter. At 5 p.m., his shift ends. The relief is quiet but real. He walks back to the bus stop. He doesn't complain anymore about the weather. In the UK, rain is part of life. On the bus, he scrolls through social media. He sees old classmates buying cars, traveling to Dubai, posting pictures in expensive restaurants. For a brief moment, comparison enters his mind. But then he reminds himself, social media shows highlights, not reality. He looks outside the window again. Back home, he removes his shoes and sits on the couch for a few minutes. The silence feels heavy at first. Living alone means facing your thoughts directly. After resting, he begins cooking dinner. Sometimes just eggs and bread if he feels too tired. Cooking saves money. Eating out too often is a luxury he cannot afford. After dinner, he washes dishes immediately. Discipline keeps life manageable. Around 8 p.m. This is the part of the day that feels different. He watches online courses. He learns about digital skills, business ideas, side hustles. He takes notes carefully in a small notebook. Improve skills. Save more. Think long term. He doesn't want to stay in the same position forever. But he understands something important. Progress takes time. Laundry spins in the washing machine. Floors are vacuumed. Groceries are purchased carefully with a list to avoid overspending. Sometimes he meets two friends at a small cafe. They talk about work permits, career growth, inflation, and future plans. Everyone is trying to move forward. Sometimes he walks alone in the park. The grass is green, ducks swim in the lake. In those moments, he feels calm. Families laugh together. Living in the UK is expensive. Not struggling
Rent
desperately,
takes a large
just
part of
steady.
his salary.
Bills increase regularly. Transport costs add up. He doesn't waste money on branded clothes or luxury items. He understands the value of delayed gratification. Some nights feel heavier than others. Loneliness can appear quietly. Being far from family during festivals feels different. Watching celebrations through video calls is not the same as being physically present. He misses home food. He misses loud family dinners. He misses speaking his own language everywhere. But he also knows he came here for opportunity, a better financial future, and slowly, step by step, he is building it. Ali does not dream of becoming a celebrity. He dreams of owning a small house one day, of having savings that bring security, of living without constant financial stress. Every night at 11:30 p.m., he sets his alarm again for 6:30 a.m. The room becomes quiet. Another ordinary day completed. Same routine, but every single day adds something invisible. Experience, patience, discipline, resilience. And maybe that is what real success looks like. But the strength to show up every single day, Ali is ordinary. And yet, in his consistency, there is something powerful. Because sometimes, the most meaningful lives are not the loudest ones. And this is the reality of a normal life in the United Kingdom. The sound of the kettle fills the silence, almost like it's trying to replace the absence of voices in the room. Steam slowly rises into the cold air. Ali stands there, staring at nothing in particular. Back home, mornings used to be different. His father reading the newspaper out loud. The simple comfort of knowing he was not alone. He makes his toast and fries 2 eggs. He eats standing near the kitchen counter, scrolling through his phone. Not because he wants to, but because silence feels heavier than scrolling. A message from his mother pops up. "Did you sleep well?" He types, "Yes, everything is good." He always says everything is good, even on the days when it isn't. Because how do you explain loneliness to someone thousands of miles away? How do you explain that sometimes the hardest part of living abroad isn't the work, it's the silence? By 7:30 a.m. he puts on his uniform. The navy blue shirt, the black trousers. He looks in the mirror again. There is no dramatic background music, no motivational speech, just a quiet man trying to stay strong. He locks his apartment door and steps outside. The cold wind hits his face. At the bus stop, people stand close but feel far away. Everyone is busy in their own world. No one talks, no one makes eye contact. He sometimes wonders, are they lonely too? The bus arrives with a soft hiss. He taps his card and sits by the window. As the city moves, he watches strangers live their lives. And for a brief second, something tightens in his chest. He remembers family dinners back home. The loud laughter, the arguments about small things, the comfort of belonging without trying. Here, belonging feels like something you have to earn. At work, he becomes someone else. Sometimes, the hardest part of his day isn't the work. It's coming home. He opens the apartment door. No familiar voice saying, "You're late today," just silence. He switches on the light, and for a moment, the room feels unfamiliar. Like a place he lives in, but doesn't truly belong to. He places his keys on the table. The small metallic sound echoes louder than it should. That echo reminds him, he is alone. He walks to the kitchen and stands still. Not because he doesn't know what to do, but because sometimes he's just tired of doing everything alone. Back home, dinner was never this quiet. There were conversations overlapping. Someone asking for more salt. Someone laughing too loudly. Someone telling a story that made no sense, but still made everyone smile. Here, the only sound is the ticking clock. He sits at the table and takes a bite. The food is warm, but the room feels cold. He picks up his phone and scrolls through old photos again. There's one where his mother is smiling widely, her hand on his shoulder. He zooms in, he whispers softly, "I'm trying." Not the world, but he keeps trying. At night, when everything becomes quiet, that's when thoughts become loud. What if this is all I ever become? What if I never move ahead? And whispers are harder to ignore. He closes his eyes, but sleep doesn't come easily. He thinks about the airport the day he left home. His mother trying not to cry. His father pretending to be strong. He carries those words every single day, and responsibility is heavy. There are nights when loneliness feels physical, like a weight sitting on his chest. Just heaviness. He doesn't post about it. He doesn't complain publicly, because social media only celebrates wins. It never shows the quiet nights. It never shows the empty kitchens. It never shows the tears that don't fall, but stay trapped behind tired eyes. Last Eid, he spent the day at work, heated leftovers, watched celebrations through a small phone screen, and after the call ended, the silence felt louder than ever. But still, the next morning he woke up. He went to work, he smiled again. Staying is hard, and he chose hard. Every single day, he is not building a mansion. He is building endurance. He is building patience. He is building strength that no one sees. And maybe, one day when life becomes stable, when bills don't cause stress, when he finally buys his own small home, when his parents sit comfortably without worrying about money, no one will see these nights. No one will see these silent battles. But he will remember. He will remember the cold mornings. And he will know he survived it. And maybe that's what real courage looks like. But standing in a small kitchen in Birmingham, holding a cup of tea, fighting tears that no one else can see, and still choosing to wake up again tomorrow.